We'll stick with mine. So we're going to do tomato bisque right now. I got to say, though, I was on when Ty Pennington was here.
Oh.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember going home being like, he was as nice.
Yeah.
As he's the same guy on TV.
Yes, there was no red light Ty.
No,
he's the same guy.
And I love the fact that during this time, it's just he's so rough, and I feel so bad for people that own businesses or whatever it is. So I love to hear people using, whether it's their TV shows or celebrity, to go out and make a difference for people in this time. So that's just awesome. Okay, that's not too hot. I just wanted to make sure I didn't burn after I picked it up. It's a little warm right now on my hand. It's getting hotter as it transfers, so we're going to set that back down. So anyways, what I had in there was just whole garlic clove right in there.
Yeah.
And I was sauteing those in the butter. And we're going to save those for later. So I just poured that butter right into here. Okay. And in the meantime, I've got some scallops and onions that we're going to start searing up here, or getting a little saute on. And I've got to give credit. You know, I've never made a tomato bisque and some different stuff, but it was actually Scott Woodburn, one of the firefighters I work with, and Scott is great about not wasting. We literally had a stew last night, or a soup, and he took everything that was left over from like the last 3 or 4 days from all the different shifts and made a soup that was incredible. But the other day we had these tomatoes that were going to go rotten from our garden at the firehouse. And he's like, I'm not letting these go. I'm going to do something.
I got some people in my world like that.
He just started
I don't care if it's November.
He started whipping up these tomatoes, cutting out the bad spots, and he made this tomato bisque, and I was like, man, that was delicious. So this is sort of, it's not exactly what he did, but a little bit of an homage to what Scott did. And I just kept thinking about it after I ate it, and I was like, I have to make that. So I got those onions going, and we'll just have those frying up in here. And then I took about 5 or 6 tomatoes, and we just cut them. And we're going to start stewing those right up here. And to cut those, all you got to do, really the only cut you have to make is I cut out that top piece right there. And then you just give it a nice little quarter cut. And we're just going to throw those in and let these start cooking down for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, Jason Michael Thomas was on yesterday, you know, showing us how to save seeds, and he has all these strange heirloom varieties of tomatoes. You wouldn't have to have all one kind of tomato, right? If you
we didn't.
If you got 2 Romas and 2 whatever, a couple of cherries, you know.
Yeah, it was, and some green. We had green ones that weren't done yet. Scott threw them all in there, and it was awesome. So of course we're going to throw a little bit of Hungarian paprika on here, and we're going to...
You have to earn your check from the Hungarian Paprika Council. That's
right. It's actually the Hungarian Paprika mob. I owe them now, and so I'm doing it for my life.
Okay.
Just kidding. Joking. So, some cracks of pepper, a little bit of cracks of sea salt, and just a hint of cayenne pepper to give it a little bit of heat on there, and some rosemary. Rosemary. About a palmful here.
Amber, Andy Parent, one of our directors here at Wish TV, got in my ear and said he dunks his grilled cheese into pesto.
Oh, pesto. That's delicious. So when I
really
first
dunked, maybe dragged through, but I was like, that was...
When I first got hired on the fire department, one of the guys I work with, Sean Sutton, he would do Italian seasoning on the butter on the outside. And just a little bit of Italian seasoning on a grilled cheese, you wouldn't believe what a difference it makes.
Thank you for using the potholders this time.
Yeah. After you've got them cooking for 15, 20 minutes, then I put them in the oven. So those are going to go in the oven, and now I'm going to transfer them here to my pot. So we'll see how this goes. Sometimes it's easier with 2 hands, but with a little social distancing, we're going to be all right. So I'm going to set that right there, put that back here, and now we're going to get a cup of chicken broth. Cup of half and half. This is not going to be my healthiest of meals. This is not terrible, though.
No.
And you don't have to do the half and half, but to make it that bisque, so we'll get that half and half in there.
But it's got to have that thickness to it.
Yep. A little bit of V8. And then we're going to start sauteing that, getting that cooking again. And then, honestly, when I made it the other night, I realized I didn't have enough tomatoes. I had fire roasted tomatoes at home.
Sure.
So I just put those, and we're going to let that as...
It's an opportunity to get some stuff out of the pantry that maybe worked its way into the back.
Exactly. So then what we're going to do is that butter that we had from the from the garlic, we're going to pour that back in there, and then I'm going to put 2 of those garlic cloves in.
Okay.
And we're going to let this cook a little bit, and then I'm going to take it all And we're doing a lot of pouring here. This one's got all kinds of pouring, have you noticed?
I've noticed.
And we're going to blend it up. Like, Teresa doesn't like a chunky tomato soup.
Oh,
or
really?
bisque.
Okay. I don't mind a few chunks. I don't mind having it chew a little bit.
So now...
We're going to let you do that. We're going to spare the viewers the sound of the blender for a second.
You just put it on, let it simmer, and it's delicious.
But anyway, we have a recipe?
Yes, you will.
The heavily pourable recipe on IndieStyle.tv. Amber?